We're back. The Astro is back. So for the past 6 months, as most of you should know, I have been in Alaska, away from old Fred, the van. And I miss him. But the premise of today's video is not necessarily about Mr. Fred. It's about my time in Alaska, because that was crazy. I spent 6 months living in Alaska. And I think a video about that is due. So for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Bronson, and I'm a traveler. I built out this Astrovan a little over a year ago now, actually. And I have been living in it for a while. I've been done some traveling in it. I've kind of just taken on the whole traveler, mindset, nomadic living. And the reason behind that was because I was working as an electrician, and I just saw a lot of people whose dreams died, and I figured I wanted to get out in life, experience life a little bit, and find a way to enjoy my future, if that makes sense. And to do that, I figured traveling would be a good way to see the world and figure that out. So for the past, little over a year now, I've been traveling, and 6 months of that have actually been in Alaska. I had a job opportunity to go to Alaska for 6 months and work in this little teeny town called Yakutat at a fishing lodge called the Glacier Bear Lodge as a bartender. And it was crazy. And today I just want to kind of go over my experience, what it was like in Alaska, and give you guys a kind of a redo of what my whole season there was, what it was like, and what I learned from it. So I'm gonna kind of go over the seasons, the fishing, the things I learned, the people I met, and just kind of go over it, because there's so much that happened in 6 months and so little time to. It's hard to cover all that, It was a crazy experience, and just I think making a video showing people what seasonal work is, as well as the benefits of traveling, I think that's a very, very important thing to spread to the world. In November of last year, I was traveling around down in southern Utah and Arizona. I think I was in Page, Utah at the time, and one of my best friend's dads contacted me, who owns part of this lodge, and asked me if I wanted to come up to a fishing lodge for the summer and work in Alaska. And I was like, whoa, that's a big opportunity. Especially as soon as I got into this whole traveling mode and getting out there in the world, I got the opportunity to go to Alaska. And fast forward a few months to April, halfway through April 16th is the day I left. I was on my way to Alaska, flying on a plane all by myself to this random little town that I've never heard of in my life, to go work at a fishing lodge for 6 months. A lot of people don't work there for the whole 6 months, but I decided might as well, because when else do I get the chance to go fly to Alaska and work and make money? So I was like, let's do it, So April 16th there was flying to Alaska all by myself, and I got there, and it was kind of just weird. I've never really been to Alaska that way, and suddenly I was in Alaska and around all these new people, all this whole new scenario. And I'll give you a little bit of backstory about the lodge. So this is a fishing lodge that does ocean charters and river charters. They have a hotel lodge deal going on, plus a restaurant and a bar. I got there, and I didn't know it at the time, but as soon as I got there, they decided to make me the bartender, which wasn't the original plan, but that's in the past. So I became the bartender, and it was my first time. I just turned 21, so I hadn't dealt with alcohol at all. So brand new job with brand new skills I needed to learn in a brand new place, living far away from home. It was kind of a crazy ordeal, right? Here I was in Alaska, being a bartender, and with all new people all around me. Luckily, at the very beginning, I didn't have a roommate, but gave it 5 days, and eventually I did have a roommate. He was a really cool guy, but I had a roommate. So I was around people 24/7 because I worked 7 days a week while I was up there for the whole 6 months. During the 6 months I was up there, I had one single day off that entire time. While I was there, April went by really, really quick. Like, April just flew by because I was learning all these things. It's a whole new place. I didn't have time to think about anything. I was working 7 days a week, time went by fast. So I don't really remember a ton of April, but by May, it was starting to get cool because I knew what I was doing at my job. I could bartend fairly well, learned the drinks and everything like that. And I was able to start focusing more on like doing cool stuff in Alaska. You know, that's part of the reason why I went, because I wanted to get out in Alaska and actually do cool things. So by May, I was actually starting to go fishing a whole bunch and mostly catching dolly varden trout, which is super fun, but not as cool as salmon. By the end of May, I did a really, really cool trip to a lake called Harlequin Lake, which is a glacial lake with a whole bunch of glaciers feeding into it. And me and another coworker actually kayaked out onto the lake, all the way back to the glaciers. That is a glacier. Oh my gosh. The kayak just hit the glacier. Dude. Oh my gosh. That's a big chunk of ice. That's sick. Yeah. And like went on icebergs, went up to the glacier, 25 miles back in the back country of random Alaska where you don't see anything. And this is when I was starting to be like, dang, this is cool. Like the amount of opportunities that I can get from working seasonally in a whole nother place, getting paid, is kind of insane. Like if I wanted to fly up there myself and go do these experiences in Alaska, it would cost me thousands of dollars between lodging and renting vehicles and flights and figuring it all out. Like I would have been thousands of dollars in the hole. What would have taken less time than going up there to work and waiting 2 months to be able to go do this stuff. But seasonal work gives you an opportunity to get out there that you can't necessarily get cheaply any other way. And so that's what I was starting to learn come May, is like this seasonal work in this lodge, it gives you the opportunity to get out there and do things that it's not quite as easy to do. And roll into June where the sockeye salmon start rolling in the river, you really start to learn that, dang, I get to go fishing in my free time that I'm not working,
I hooked into that one,
just like all these people who are paying thousands of dollars to come to the lodge to go fishing and do the exact same thing. And I'm getting to do it for free. And not only the river, there's also the ocean charters. I was able to go on ocean charters through May and June and July and August and even September. I got to go. I was pretty fortunate. I got to do quite a bit of cool stuff. But of course, that came with a lot of work. You know, I worked bartending all the time. I did a lot of graphic design. I did shuttles. I did a little bit of fish cleaning, a little bit of housekeeping. I did a lot of electrical work on those boats because I said I was an electrician before, and guess what? They can use that. So they put me to work, and I actually rewired 2 of our ocean charter boats. I think in May, June, and July, around that time period. Can't necessarily remember it off the top of my head, but you know, that's part of the reason why I got to go out on the boats so much. The more I was out there, the more I realized that the opportunities I was getting to go out and do stuff in Alaska were just insane. Like one of my coworkers said it really, really, really well when he said, people come to Alaska to experience Alaska. Everybody does, right? And there's in the lodge, there's 2 different ways to do that. You can either pay and come up there and do it, or you can work up there and do it. We're all doing it for the same reason. We're just coming up there to experience Alaska, right? I mean, that's why I was going necessarily. I mean, money, of course, is a benefit, but I'm working. That way I can have that experience. It takes longer. Doesn't happen as quick, but you still get the experience, and if not, a better experience. More in tune because you know more about the town and the area and the people. Or you can pay, just like our clients do, to come up and have that experience real quick and get it done and move on to the next place. So it to me, it was a really cool perspective when he said that everybody's coming to Alaska kind of for the same reason. It's to experience it. It's just how you're coming to Alaska is a little bit different. And so June and July, they were probably some of my most favorite months up there. June, the sockeye start running, like I was saying, and just tons of sockeye fishing all the time. July rolls around and same thing, sockeye are running heavy. Those are just so fun to catch. You floss for them instead of, I won't get into that, but if you want to watch the videos, I just got some more videos up about Alaska and fishing out there. So sockeye, you floss for them, and you know, 4th of July is just a great time. Everybody out there is just so cool. You know, I work with 20 other employees, and all of them are amazing, amazing people that we all got along together. I know some of them are watching this video, I'm sure, right now, but, like, you guys are cool. I worked, lived, had fun, slept near them 7 days of the week for 6 months straight. You know, I got to know these people really well, and it's kind of one of the weirdest things about leaving Yakutat and the whole lodge life and the seasonal work is that I might not see a lot of them again. August, there's this thing called Fairweather Day. Once July and everything was over, it was called Fairweather Days. It's like the town celebration. You know how, your local towns will have like onion days or strawberry days or whatever, potato days, whatever it is, they'll have something. In Yakutat, it's called Fairweather Day, and the whole town gets together and y'all meet up and they have barbecues and little parties and fireworks, and that was a good time. It was a nice sunny day, because if you don't know, Yakutat rains 7 out of the 7 days of the week, and then a little bit more. It was always rainy there. The amount of times I felt sun on my face was minimal. I feel like I've been home for like 4 days at this point, and I feel like I felt the sun more in these 4 days here in Utah than I did in 6 months in Yakutat. Like, the rain there is no joke. If you get seasonally depressed because you don't see the sun, you'll get seasonally depressed there. But yeah, August was good. It started out strong, and that's when the salmon season was changing from sockeye to pink salmon, and we're starting to catch a whole bunch of pink salmon, which is a lot of fun, but they're not as good to eat. And eventually, as you move in through August, the pinks start, well, they're still there, but mostly it moves into silvers. They start coming by the end of August. And I also got to do some cool trips in August. It was my birthday. I turned 22 up there, and all the locals got to know me since I was the bartender, and, the connections I made with all them are cool, so they all came out for my birthday. And the lodge gave me the single day off I had in that 6 months to go hike to a lake called Seatuck Lake and camp at a cabin overnight and go canoeing and just fishing and have a good day. Finally have a day off to reset, which was a lifesaver. Oh, no. Ew, let it throw me. No, not in the brushes. Ah! Uh-oh. Ooh. Look at that. We could eat that if we had a way to cook it. I mean, we could try.
Try.
You want to?
Sure.
Come on, Keith. If I can get him in. God, that is so pretty. Now it's kind of towards the middle of August. Towards the end of it, the silvers are really starting to come in, and that's when the season picks up. That's when the most clients are coming out, is for the silver salmon season, or coho salmon. They call them silvers out there. And people are just pouring in. So at that point, by September, it was getting really busy. So that's kind of when I was able to not film videos anymore. So I think my last video was probably towards the end of August that I filmed in Yakutat. September, I was busy just 24/7, whether it was working, trying to go on adventures in my free time, or just whatever it was, I was busy. So I didn't get to film any videos, which makes me sad, but that's what went down. September was busy, but that's when I got to bring my cousin up. We had a bartender come out and his wife, and long story short, it didn't work out and they got sent home. So we needed another bartender or server to come up, and I got to bring my cousin up. Some other really cool people got to come up, and we had a cool group going on, and just lots of adventures, lots of northern lights, lots of, not a ton of fishing, but I got to go out a few times, got to float down the river. And just like that, the end of September rolled around, and September 29th, I flew home with my cousin. I am missing an ungodly amount of stuff in that 6 months that I just can't tell you about because I can't think of it all at once, but it was an experience like no other. And I kind of want to dive into why seasonal work gives you that opportunity. Seasonal work is it's a good way to make some good money in the season. But regardless of the money, to me, one of the most important things is the experiences you get with the people you get to experience it with during the season. Like, the people that I met, I can't get enough. I can't up-talk them enough, you know? The people I met were just amazing. I mean, the housekeepers, Jamie, you're cool, because I know you're going to be watching this. I mean, the servers, the fish cutters, the guides, the owners, I mean, everybody, the locals. I mean, the amount of locals that I met that just had my back if anything happened. I mean, they would have bought me a flight out of there if I needed to go to a funeral, or I needed to go to a wedding, or they would have came and saved me if I was floating out on the ocean and couldn't get back, or whatever I needed, those people would have backed me up. I was a bartender, and the amount of times that someone came up to me and told me, hey, if anything's ever going down, like a bar fight or whatever, you let one of us know and we'll be right there in 5 minutes to help back you up. Like, they were good people. All of them are such good people. And just being out there and getting to know them all and be a part of their lives for a while, even if I never go back, which I'd love to go back, it was just like something that is irreplaceable and so important in my life that I didn't know it would be that important. It's kind of crazy. A lot of you, well, probably none of you know this, but like my entire life, it's been like, I don't know, you've always had friends, you've always had family and whatever, but getting out of little bubble of Utah that this place is, and meeting people from Alaska, Hawaii, New York, South Carolina, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Mexico, all over the world and the United States, and experiencing living with all these people and being friends with these people and working together, like that, it's just something that is so important for the human mind to learn and experience, yet so little people experience it. Like, it's hard for me to communicate how I feel about it, but it's important, and I know the people that have experienced this will understand what I'm saying right now. It's an important experience that I wish everybody would take the time to go out and do. And I mean, there's other ways to do it than seasonal work. Like, I mean, travel, even vacational travel and staying for an extended period of time would get you that. But, seasonal work is just a way to do that. And it's honestly a way to open up your mindset and get different perspectives, because I know I've talked about it on this channel before, but getting a different perspective on life is the most important thing in the world. I mean, ask me a year ago, before I started to travel, and all I'd ever done in my life is live in Utah. Like, me a year ago to me now is an insanely different person. And it might not show on the outside, but just I know the way I think and the way I do things and the way that I live and act, and maybe, I don't know. I know I can feel it. I'm a different person, and it's a good different. It's a more educated, more passionate, more creative, more responsible. It's a good thing. So you guys, overall, Alaska was, an amazing experience, of course. I just told you how passionate I was about all of Alaska, basically. But, I went up there for two reasons. One was to make money, a lot of money, and the other one was to have some cool Alaska experiences. And by far the most valuable thing and the most cool thing that happened to me while I was there was the connections and the relationships with the people that I met up there. That wasn't something that I planned on trying to push or learn, or, I didn't really necessarily care. I live in a van all by myself. I don't necessarily care about meeting people all that much. But after being in Alaska for 6 months and meeting all of those people and getting to know all those people and just building relationships with all these people, it was like the most valuable thing that I did. The relationships I built, the connections I have now, the places that I can now travel because of these people that are in the works currently as I'm speaking. Like, it has been the most valuable thing maybe in my life that has happened, just because it's built me so much as a person, and it's valuable. It's crazy. Like, don't underestimate that. It's crazy. So, overall, my Alaska experience doing seasonal work was insane experiences in life, insane personal relationships and connections with people, and I made a whole bunch of money, which ended up being, amazing. I want money, but I probably would have done that entire experience with a quarter of the amount of money that I made. Of course, I want money so I can travel more, but that just goes to show you how valuable being up there was to me. And before I end this video, I do want to give people who follow my channel up a little update on Fred and kind of the channel and what's going to be going on in the next little while. So as of right now, I've been home for 4 days, done some cool things. I hiked Mount Temp, bought some climbing gear, bought a snowboard, got a bunch of plans going on. But for now, upcoming plans are going to be fixing up Fred for the next few days. As you can see, I've got to paint this again, which is just one of the things I need to fix. I've got to clean the van out in the first place. I just got it registered again, so I've got to put registration away. I got to clean it. I got to fix my stereo, because if you remember, when I was done with my road trip, it died on the last day. It still plays music. The screen just don't turn on for whatever reason. My back hatch door, it opens on the inside, but if you come out here on the outside, press that button underneath, it don't work. I don't know what's up with it. So I got to worry about fixing that. Probably got to lube up all the doors. If you climb under here, I'll show you. I don't know if you can see the ball joint over there. Right here. It's all torn open, which your ball joint does not, you do not want that to fail. I replaced that ball joint already. It's a good ball joint, but the rubber around it ripped. It's a pain in the butt to fix. Really, really a pain in the butt, but I got to get that fixed before, and get a new boot on it basically, or just a new ball joint with a new boot. That way it doesn't ever break. Probably do an oil change, check up on a few things, fluids. And then lastly, probably one of the last things I also need to do is, well, my battery. So this thing has been charging for 6 months without me using the batteries. And as of right now, it's at 84%. Today, when I pulled the van into the garage, it was at 100%. And if you know my channel, which a lot of you do, that's not super accurate. I think my batteries are going bad though. Like I said before, oh, I forget this one. These two batteries were free. My dad got them for me from his job. Long story short, he got them for free, but they needed to be replaced because yearly maintenance, they replaced certain things. And yeah, just look right here, already 83%. Just turning on another light, not good. They need to be replaced. I got them for free. They were older batteries, they've been used for a while. I think one of them, or both of them maybe, are going bad. So I've been working with a company while I was in Alaska. I organized it to get me a new battery. So I've got this new lithium battery here. It's a 200 amp hour. It's the same size as those two batteries, but in one battery. I got to get that put in there at some point too. So I'm going to be making a video about probably doing a bunch of maintenance on the van, just fixing stuff up. And then I'll probably do a whole nother video about electrical, replacing the battery, putting a new battery in and everything. So that'll be a pretty cool few new videos coming out within the next little while. Plus I want to go on some Utah adventures, but yeah, so that way you know what to expect on the channel within the next little bit. I'll be getting back into life after being gone for 6 months. I definitely want to go camping within the next little bit, but I gotta worry about cleaning this out. So that's what you can expect. Old Fred is definitely here for a little while. I've got some more plans in the works come January, but that's a problem for later on. It's gonna be cool. More seasonal work basically, but we'll get there. So I'll see you guys in the next episode, whether that be, I don't know what it's going to be, whatever it is. I'll see you in the next episode. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed my little Alaska talk and then a little bit of an update on Fred. So I'll see you guys later. Thank you for watching. Adios.